Another day in the NBA before we head into the new year, and the work begins. It always does here on the Splash Play channel. I'm going to dig in and compare my projections to one of the industry leaders out there, our friends over at Stokastic. We'll see who the top plays are, who the best value plays are. We'll go game by game, check the ownership, see where the leverage spots are. We'll run a sim without my interference on Stokastic, see what their best ROI lineups are. We'll also do a hand build. I'll give you guys my Splash Plays, and by the end of this video, guys, you're going to know all the industry's must plays for today, December 30th. Let's get into it here. I'm a sleepy boy. I did too many things today. Cleaned up the house, took the dog out for a walk in 30-degree weather, which worked out, ate some ziti, and then when I ate the ziti that was left over from Christmas, I really started feeling sleepy. So but I'm here. We're still gonna do the work as we always do here. But it's important that you know that your host for today is in fact a little bit sleepy. Shout out to the chat though. Appreciate everybody being here live, of course. Appreciate all you guys watching after the fact. We are in the stretch run here. Last couple slates. NBA taking no days off, so we'll see what days we take off here as we head into this new year. But of course, check out Stokastic. You guys know the deal. Link down below. Promo code SPLASH if you want to check it out over there. But let's get into our top projected plays, starting with Luka Doncic. No Austin Reeves. He's going to be out about a month. And Luka has been the big rate winner with Austin Reeves off the court. Luka with Austin Reeves unavailable, averaging 1.7 fantasy points per minute on 39% usage, 44% assist rate. Also rock solid, 61% true shooting for Luka as well. So he can get his shot off. Not a surprise with what we know of Luka Doncic. The big issue for Luka today is that he is priced at $12K. There are guys that are much cheaper that project pretty similarly, but still Luka, 56.3 fantasy points for me. Stokastic has him at 56. Again, not a great value here, but certainly, he has that big upside here, and hopefully he can stay healthy. Unlike yesterday's pay-up option, Nikola Jokic. Sad to see. Not a very serious knee injury, thankfully. Wasn't an ACL like it kind of looked like with him going down from the barest minimum of contact. But hyperextended knee for him. Of course, he killed a lot of the field yesterday, leaving in the first half. But that said, for Luka, he's your pay-up option today, and certainly at 3% ownership, he's not going to be owned like Jokic was, with about half the field playing him. You look at the new Jokic, rip Jokic knee. I mean, look, it's only a month. It is only a month. Could be worse, but definitely sad to see any MVP contender, anybody like Jokic in particular, who is so, I think, bordering on historically great at this point. Needs to win more championships to make that full leap in a lot of people's eyes. But you get a lot of Joe Val coming up on some slates. See who'll be priced at next time. Jamal Murray going to be cooking. The Nuggets really, I would say, the most injury-bitten team in the NBA, because it's not a very deep team anyway, and you're now down Gordon, Brown, Cam Johnson, and Jokic. Pretty rough for them. I would see we got lock button Wiggins yesterday. Okay, wow. I mean, still couldn't do anything. That's the sad part. But yeah, I did not see Andrew Wiggins as some elite play, but more power to you if you did. Today, Kawhi Leonard looks like an elite play. I think his first time this year on the thumbnail. So hooray for Kawhi Leonard. I'm sure a very key moment in his NBA career is to make the thumbnail here on the Splash Play NBA shows. But Kawhi, $9,500 salary. I'm at a 53.3 projection. He's just been a monster this year with Vika Zubac off the court. Maybe unsustainably good, but he has averaged 1.58 fantasy points a minute on 36% usage, 20% assist rate, 70% true shooting is not going to last. But my guess is that by having other centers in there who are not Vika Zubac, more room for Kawhi to attack at the rim, get some more usage up. In addition to just, one less mouth to feed, because Zubac does take some touches away at the elbow, in the post, things like that. For Kawhi, though, and James Harden, they're both a little bit too cheap for the situation where these rates do take a pretty big leap up. And the Clippers, too, another team that's down a lot of the core guys that we started the year with. No Beal, no Chris Paul, no Bogdan Bogdanovic, which does matter a pretty good amount usage-wise, and then no Zubac on top of that. So Kawhi Leonard, top projected play today. I'm at 53.3. Stokastic is at 51.4. The ownership expected is 46% for the field. I got him at 67 before the show here. And he went nuts last time out for the Clippers too. I think they got water in his braids, which apparently ruins braids. Which I've lived in the South Bronx. I've lived around, had many. This is a bad tangent, but had many friends of color. I did not know that water ruined braids. So we all learned something this week. But Kawhi Leonard, playing good minutes. He's healthy. He's looking great. And he has really averaged crazy amounts of fantasy points per minute when you take Zubac off the court, let alone Zubac plus Bogdanovic on top of that. Jaylen Brown, $9,400 salary. So again, another guy fairly cheap compared to Luka Doncic, but the projections still in that same range. As a result, you get a lot more ownership for Jaylen Brown, 45% ownership. You can see here Kawhi 46, Jaylen Brown 45, Kawhi's teammate James Harden 47. That is where the ownership is going. So Luka Doncic going to be unowned basically because this 9K range looks so appealing and half the field to be playing these guys. It is only a 4-game slate today in terms of the timings that we have. You have games completely staggered 8, 9, 10, 30, 11. But injury-wise, I don't think there's anything that we need to know at this point. For Sacramento, that's the last game. We already know that we will have Sabonis out. We'll have Zach LaVine out. For the Lakers, we know we have Austin Reeves out. That's your 10:30 game. Boston, Utah, we need to know about Keontae George because he's a questionable tag. Hopefully we'll know that before then. That's really your big one you need to know. But that's about it. So not a lot of late swap. You have to do the Utah game, I guess, would be the big situation if you weren't in. But I think for these 3 guys, the ownership should hold no matter what. And if any value opens up at all incrementally, it'll probably just make it easier to get to Kawhi, Jaylen Brown, and James Harden, who all project around 50 fantasy points. And for Stokastic, they're all dead even as well. Stokastic has Kawhi at 51.4, Jaylen Brown at 50.6, James Harden at 50.1. I am lower on Harden, but right with the other guys, a little bit higher really on Kawhi and Jaylen Brown. But Harden, 47% ownership. I'm getting him at 11, so that's my spot to differentiate. A little bit low on Jaylen Brown as well. 36% fields at 45. Waiting on Embiid news, Steven points out that is true, but that's also the 8 o'clock game, so you'll know that before lock. Tyrese Maxey looks okay to me today. Will look better if Embiid is out. $9,600 salary. That same price range as Kawhi, as Jaylen Brown, as James Harden. But a little bit less good of a projection, though I do have Maxey and Harden dead even. Maxey, though, $500 cheaper. Not really getting there. But 9.5% ownership. I'm getting 9.3 for Maxey. Get an okay play right now. Look a lot better today versus Memphis if you get Embiid out and all that usage that he takes away. Cade Cunningham, always a little bit low for me. Today I'm at 47.3 fantasy points. Stokastic has been at 49.3. For Detroit, you're going to LA. This West Coast trip for Detroit feels like it's going on forever. But Cade Cunningham, today he's on the actual main slate after not being on it for a while. Not a great projection for me, but I know I'm always low on him. But the field's not really there either at 4.3%. As a result, I'm getting 0 right now of Cade. Obviously, he can go nuts in this spot, and it really does seem like ownership-wise, Luka and Cade unowned, very concentrated ownership on Kawhi and Jaylen Brown and James Harden. It's not a lot of great value on the slate, so it is harder to get to Kawhi, or to get to Luka rather, to get to Cade as opposed to getting, to Kawhi, to Jaylen Brown, to James Harden. But you'll be rewarded uniqueness-wise, I think, because those guys the projection math doesn't work for Cade or Luka, it looks like. Keontae George, if he plays, he looks pretty good. $8,100 salary for the Jazz. No Ace Bailey today, so some more usage to go around. Keontae George at 8,100, about 35-minute projection. I would have him in 43% of my top 150 lineups, and the field's at 11%. So Keontae George, if he's out, obviously would open up a lot more usage. For the remaining Jazz, Lauri Markkanen, Bryce Sensabaugh, who's going to be one of our top values. We'll see in a moment. But Keontae's been good lately. Real fast, I'll run through his numbers. So I do like to give some context here to what good means. Keontae George averaging 1.16 fantasy points a minute on 28% usage, 31% assist rate. His usage goes up to about 31% when you do take who is out of the Jazz lineup today, Ace Bailey in particular, off the court. I think I also took Kessler off the court, but that probably doesn't matter that much. But for Keontae George, good spot, good total against Boston with 242.5 implied. Definitely Boston's defense, a little more of a risk to shut things down than Utah's is. But Keontae George, I think a little bit too cheap for the situation if he does play today with that Q tag for illness. Lauri Markkanen looking pretty good as well. Will look better if Keontae George is out. But 28% Lauri Markkanen in my top 150 lineups as of right now. Fields at 15. Again, Markkanen 7,900. Both these guys, price tag where there is still some ceiling there, but the projections work as well with both guys around 41, 42 fantasy points. Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen. Again, doesn't feel natural for me to have like Jazz players expected to be so, competitive against a Boston team that's a lot better. And, now one of your favorites to win the Eastern Conference. Boston's been good this year in a way that I don't think people expected as much as they should have. But Lauri Markkanen, maybe a little bit too cheap, a little bit too lowly owned at 15%. Happy to get more in the field. It does feel like a pretty big stand for me, though, on George and Markkanen right now. Jalen Duren, another guy who always pops in my data. He's produced well, points-wise, rebounds-wise this year. Definitely feels like he hasn't had as crazy of a ceiling lately, at least game to game, but still at 7,500. I'm at 40.1 fantasy points. Stokastic has him at 37.7, again, mostly because of the fact they take that longer-term sample size, treat it dead even. I weight the season's results a little bit higher, and Jalen Duren has been good this year. Half my lineups is a pretty big stand, but for right now, that's what it looks like. I think when we get to actual lock, getting it closer to 33% for me. So I still have a stand there, but you're not going nuts. You really don't want to own a guys like crazily generally. If they're going to be, 15% owned on a 4-game slate, you just kind of want to be above the field, but not, really maybe have them define your whole night. I think for Jalen Duren right now, my data would have him defining my whole night. But if you want to be more conservative and still get some of that exposure, 25% will probably be above the field no matter what. Derek White, $7,400 salary for him. I've met a 39.8 projection. Stokastic has meant 40.2. 42% ownership expected. I am getting 35.3%. The matchup really going against Utah is the big thing here. On the slate, Boston has the highest total, 125.5 implied points. So as a result, Brown looks good. White looks good. Pritchard looks good. Kata looks playable, but really the guards, the high usage guys all look good because of that point total being higher. I suppose you could get your Jordan Walsh random spike game here, though his minutes seem a little bit less secured with Hugo Gonzalez getting more lately. But for Boston, that's the biggest thing. That's a high total, so that's why. And soft matchup against Utah, that's why you're getting a good amount of Celtics players, even though at their price tags, they seem like they're priced where they should be. And then Joel Embiid, as Steven pointed out, waiting on Embiid news, Q tag on him. If he does play, he doesn't project super great for me. Definitely playable at 39 fantasy points. Stokastic, and then again, honoring that longer-term sample size, giving him 42.5. If you do give him that number, you got 20% ownership. If your projection looks more like mine, he's not a 5x value. I am getting him at 0% right now. But Jalen Duren at 7,500, you can make the case I am definitely too high there. Shedding some of that Jalen Duren ownership, giving a little bit more to Embiid. That's sort of the way to have a more balanced portfolio if you're playing, especially 150 lineups, but even 20. You kind of be mindful of when you have like 0 of a guy and you have like too much of another guy. Maybe cut that down, balance it out a little bit better. All right, let's sort by value here. For this 4-game, very staggered, late swappy kind of slate here. Before I get to the top values, guys, please help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe if you get any value to this video. It does go a long way. Even if all you're going to do is fade me, that'd be hurtful. And I don't know if it would work out super well, but it will still be mean that you got value out of this video. So please help me out. Hit that like button and subscribe here as I keep doing the work. Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. We'll see what the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day schedule is, because I don't even know if Luke is in school tomorrow. If he is, you'll get a video tomorrow. New Year's Day, probably less likely because I'll be locked in family obligations, I think. But either way, the goal this week is to get as many videos out as possible. So you might get all the days this week. We'll see. Also, check out Stokastic, 15% off. Link down below. Promo code SPLASH will get you as well all that money off. You have to enter the promo code no matter what. But click the link. You can see all the options. Again, cheap stuff, expensive stuff, weekly, monthly, any sport. It's all 15% off. And that is the only deal they have going right now. So please do go check it out. And it supports the show, because half the money you pay to them does come back to me. And last but not least, if you want to really support the show, join the channel down below. Live chat is members only, so $5 to get in here and just to keep the trolls out primarily. But also with that, you get a Discord. If you join the Squirt Squad tier, you get my data updating throughout the night. The same screens you see here, minus Stokastic's data, updated throughout the evening for you. You also get my exportable projections if you are an advanced player that knows what you're doing under the VIP tier. Check that out. All that stuff linked down below. And I'd recommend joining on desktop if you can, as opposed to iOS, because iOS does charge you some extra VIG, or YouTube charges you extra VIG because Apple charges them. Stupid, but that's how it goes. Top values right now. Bryce Sensabaugh with no Ace Bailey. Minutes should be up from a pretty good amount here at 4,400. Sensabaugh also shooting guard, small forward, so positional flexibility helps out a good amount. A Sensabaugh with Ace Bailey off the court has averaged 0.85 fantasy points per minute, 19% usage this year, 9% assist rate, nothing special, 6% rebound rate and change. He's an okay player. I think Sensabaugh really, if you get Keontae George out, that's where the upside's probably a little bit higher for Sensabaugh, and you feel, I think, full trust in him, at that price tag. But, right now, with this offense being what it is, he'll be your third option. Maybe fourth, depending if Nurkic gets going a little bit more than usual. But Sensabaugh is too cheap. He'll be out there playing minutes. That's the biggest thing. 71% ownership for the field. I'm getting him at 60 right now, but I think he's really your one value play in the slate. Like Isaiah Collier looks okay now. He'll look a lot better if Keontae George is out. But as it is currently, Sensabaugh probably going to start. Probably going to get, if he doesn't start, he'll get reliable minutes off the bench. He is your best chalk value play for today. Peyton Pritchard, despite being 6,400, my number 2 value here, 48% for the field. I'm getting 66. My projection also 0.4 higher than Stokastic at 36.3. Them at 35.9. But the big thing is that no matter what, around that range at 6,400, he's definitely too cheap. He's also your cheapest Celtic in a game where they have that really high total going against Utah. So Peyton Pritchard looks pretty good. Half the field's there. I'm getting more. Yusuf Nurkic at 6K. It's just not a very deep slate today. So Nurkic, not a guy I haven't gotten a ton of slates lately. But if you take Keontae George out, he's going to look even better. As it is, taking Ace Bailey out does help his rate slightly. Nurkic averages 1.22 fantasy points a minute without having Ace Bailey on the court. You also don't have Kevin Love, so maybe a few more minutes go Nurkic's way, with him getting 27 minutes in the projection. But Nurkic at 61% of my lineups right now, my top 150. Fields at 42%. So Nurkic coming up here, a good amount for the field and me. But definitely looks like more of a priority play for me right now. And again, you want to fast forward to splash plays today. This is the core that I'm getting right now for sure. Kawhi Leonard, 67%, Fields at 46. We talked about him already. He is a top pay-up option. Despite that, he's your number 4 best value on the slate according to my projections. Why would Isaiah Stewart come up when Duran, everybody else is in? Isaiah Stewart, not a great value on paper. Jaylen Brown, 36% for me. Fields at 45, getting a top value here. Despite being 9,400, we just don't have guys that are priced cheaply, that are actually cheap, or priced relatively cheap, that are actually cheap. Jaylen Brown is relatively cheap as an expensive player. So that's why you're going to get him a good amount today, but he looks good because the spot versus Utah and the fact that he's been, really one of the biggest ball hogs in the league in a good way because he's producing well against Utah. That should pay dividends. Jalen Duren here, top value despite being pretty expensive at 7,500. Derek White, same thing. Collier, an actual value at 4,300. Does he gain anything at all rate-wise from having these guys out for Utah? No. 0.83 fantasy points a minute. 37% assist rate. If the shots fall, Collier is going to be good. The tough part for a guy like Collier and going against Boston is that, tough defenses sometimes can impede your assist upside because basically you have to make that second pass. Like Collier makes a good pass, let's say. Guy would normally have an open shot because Boston's got good wing defense. They close off that first shot. That guy swings it around. You don't get the assist or the stat for Collier. Maybe he has to attack the rim a little bit more. And I think definitely if you get Keontae George out, you're going to get him like in pretty much every lineup. But on a slate where no value is going to be here, Collier at 4,300, Sensabaugh at 4,400. These are your only value plays that pop up, even remotely. James Harden, still top value despite being 9,100. Keontae George, same thing. Larry Marketing, same thing. Brook Lopez has played pretty well with Vika Zubac off the court this year, or rather, really just lately in particular. But I think his underlying rates don't take a big enough jump up. Only 0.82 fantasy points a minute this year with Zubac off the court. So for Brook Lopez, he's been playing well. The minutes should be there for him, but don't think he's like a smash player or anything. Fields 22%. I'm getting 21. Jalen's been scoring. If you get the night you need, depends on, he happens to have that good peripherals night. Yeah, I mean, you could also just put up 50 real life points too. I mean, given how high that total is versus Utah and the fact they only have like 3 real scorers night to night. I think there's a couple outs for Jaylen Brown, but yeah, he's chucking. So that's the biggest thing. We're going to go game by game here, guys. 4 games. We're making good time. One more ask. Like button, subscribe. Do that right now. Helps out me and any creator you enjoy on YouTube, especially us smaller creators, because YouTube needs to know that the videos matter to you, and then it shows the people like you. So impressions go a long way. Hit the like button, subscribe. Help this channel get more impressions. And also right now, about 60% of people that watch the videos aren't subscribed. So let's get those vanity numbers up so you could sell some prediction market sponsors. If you want to see prediction market content on here, keep hitting that like button, subscribing, guys, because I will whore out to them the moment one of those deals comes along. Stokastic, you guys know the deal here. All the data updating throughout the night, 15% off, link down below. And the Discord, $5 to join here. And if you want my data, the version you see of this screen here is this one. So no Stokastic projections, no Stokastic ownership here. But you get this updated throughout the night if you join the Squirt Squad tier. VIP tier, you get my exportable projections as well. We're going to go game by game. We got Philly, 118 implied points. Memphis, 116.5 implied points. Maxey coming up 9%. Embiid coming up 20% for the field. Paul George, 22%. Edgecombe at 13. I'm low on all of them right now, at least by a little bit. If Embiid is out, though, it's going to look a lot better going against Memphis. As it is right now with Embiid in, 20% ownership seems like a fair amount for him. I don't feel like he's one of those guys who need to cram into lineups, even though his projection doesn't look, that good for me. That said, Embiid producing 1.36 fantasy points a minute, not shooting super well at 56% true shooting, but he's still getting usage up. He's out there. Yeah, I don't want to be dead zero on Embiid when I get to my final lineups here, but he doesn't project great for me. Usually that happens for a reason. So it is what it is. Paul George would look better if Embiid were out. 22% ownership now. That would come up. Edgecombe, almost a 5x value. He'll look better if Embiid's out. You basically just want to clear that usage away if you can for these guys to look better. But if Embiid's in, they're all fine enough tournament options. It's only a 4-game slate. Memphis, these guys really not priced for the situation they're in. Still no Vince Williams, no Scottie Pippen, no Ty Jerome, all the guys that are not really playing at this point. But you do have Ja Morant in. Morant playing limited minutes at 7,300. Really hard to see the ceiling there. But you're kind of in a situation like, the Pelicans have been in lately where you have the star player, maybe not playing the full allotment of minutes, but they're going to keep ramping up, keep taking more shots away. And these guys aren't really priced for that situation yet. So to me, Memphis looks mostly unplayable. G.G. Jackson, though, playing rotational minutes on a slate where we have no value at 3,700. I got him at 18% and the field's at 15. Boston, all that ownership we talked about already with their 125.5 implied points. Again, your highest total on the slate going against Utah, who has a respectable 117 implied points, but they are an 8.5-point dog at home, which is teetering on that blowout range. Jaylen Brown, though, fields at 45%. I'm getting 36. Being under here by a little bit's okay to me. He's expensive, but definitely don't want to be flat out on him because he is a 51 fantasy point projected guy for me. I'm higher than Stokastic by 0.5. Derek White, 35% exposure for me. Fields at 42. Again, another guy I really don't mind being with the field, being a little bit above it. He's still probably due to shoot a little bit better. He and Peyton Pritchard both. These guys you have seen have some massive days lately because they started the year so poorly. They had the claw back closer to the league average, 58% and change true shooting. For Derek White and Peyton Pritchard, they're doing that, but against Utah is another spot, pace-up spot against a shitty defense. They might have a really outlier day, just kind of make up and get them and their averages closer to where they should be. Peyton Pritchard, the cheap Celtic here, gets all of the benefit of the high total, but a little bit less salary. That's why I'm getting him at 66%, Fields at 48. But you really can't go wrong with the big three here: Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. Simon's off the bench. I'm not there. Only at 20 fantasy point projection for me, but you are getting 18% ownership for the field. I'm getting some Keita, some Hugo Gonzalez, some Jordan Walsh here. Your only guys really you're doing anything statistically. But none of them seem that great. Really does seem like Brown, White, and Pritchard the key guys you want to go to. But Boston has a way of some of these guys spiking, randomly. Unfortunately, it's not going to be Josh Minot at this point because he's not in the rotation, really. Make a really good case for doing very little with the first game and go late swap happy later. That's true. I mean, going through that first game, really not a lot of ownership for anything. If Embiid's out, Philly's going to look too appealing, to avoid, I would think. But Memphis, you don't give me G.G. Jackson. I'm okay with that. Utah on their side, they'll look a lot different if Keontae George is out. With Keontae George in, though, getting him at 40%, Fields at 11. Keontae George also projects about 2.8 fantasy points higher for me because of the fact he has gained about 4 points in usage for having Ace Bailey off the court this year. But Keontae George, if he's out, he will open up everything here. If he is in, he also looks really good. Lowry Markkanen, getting him almost 2x the field. He looks good with Keontae George in. He'll look better with him out. Yusuf Nurkic, same thing. At 6K, he's becoming a priority play for me, 61% ownership. My projection is also 1 fantasy point higher than Stokastic, so that's probably part of why. Their ownership's only at 42%. Bryce Sensabaugh should be getting starter level minutes if he doesn't pick up the actual start. 60% ownership for me. Fields at 71. Isaiah Collier will look a lot better if Keontae George is out, but still looks like a good value if he's in. Fields at 39. I'm getting 45. Utah seems like a key play on the slate. That said, they are clearly a much worse team against a much better team. But the total is within 10, and it is a pretty high total for Utah, even if Boston's also incredibly high. So I don't see how you would fade Utah on the slate, but it does feel like one of those things where people are going to be playing this team like crazy, and they're unequivocally the worst team, and maybe should get blown out in most situations. Detroit 118 implied points. Lakers 115.5 implied points. Jalen Duren, my biggest stand here for Detroit, getting him 51%, Fields at 17. My data has been biased towards Jalen Duren this year, but he's averaged 1.27 fantasy points a minute, which is not that far off. Cade Cunningham at 1.4, so that's the reason why. But Cade here, certainly, a guy that can put up a lot bigger upside than Jalen Duren. But Duren, to me, the rebounds going against a Lakers team where there's really nothing you're afraid of on that front. And also, frankly, a lot of guys that miss shots. I think Jalen Duren a strong play, even though I don't know that I want to have half my lineups with him. Asar Thompson, about a 5% play for me in the field. Tobias Harris, 5%, getting 11 here. Isaiah Stewart, not an awful value play, but again, not 5X, so he's not really a guy we're prioritizing. Fields at 9%, I got 21. We just need guys like this to fill out rosters. Is the reason you're getting Isaiah Stewart today, or at least the reason I am. Duncan Robinson, even on a slate where everybody's kind of playable, he doesn't look particularly playable at 2%. And Steven asked about Jaden Ivey. Parker also talked about Ivey. Because of the fact that LeVert is doubtful, so he's probably going to be out. The minutes should be a little bit better. Ivey's producing close to 1 fantasy point per minute. They haven't shown a desire to give him like crazy high minutes. So if Stokastic's going to hold him at 21, I would tend to trust that. But, if he got the start, Stokastic boosted him to like 25 minutes, he would look like a little bit more of a play for me. As is right now, I think he's an okay pivot to that Utah value. I think that's the best thing he has going for him. He and Ron Holland both. I mean, getting 25% of Ivy, 23% of Ron Holland. Neither guy excites me too much, but I do think, they're getting enough minutes there. They're, I would say, fairly obvious pivots to the Utah ownership, and, in particular, Sensabaugh and Isaiah Collier. Lakers on their side, you have no Austin Reeves today, no Gabe Vincent, no Rui Hachimura as well. The rates for Luka take a jump up, but at 12K, still not getting their projection-wise, and a fairly tough matchup against Detroit. They're 111.7 defense here, giving up that many points per 100 possessions. One of the better defenses in basketball, not quite that Thunder tier, but I think they're right now like number 2 or number 3 overall. So that's part of why the numbers here look a little bit light. LeBron has not taken a big enough rate increase with Austin Reeves off the court this year, so I'm not really getting there. He definitely has more opportunity from Reeves being off, but LeBron not playing super well this year, only 1.15 fantasy points a minute. In particular, the not rebounding is what's hurting him the most. DeAndre Ayton not coming up for me at all. Laravia, I'm at 5%, Fields at 17. It feels like I should be getting more here with no Reeves and how high of a usage player he is. But I think the bad Detroit matchup, pretty aggressive pricing for these guys. Like Nick Smith coming up at 17% for me, Fields at 11. Vanderbilt, 3% for me, Fields at 16. These are your Lakers plays coming up a little bit more. But I do think Luka at 3%, LeBron at 2%. LeBron's projection looks awful. Even Stokastic only has about 39.4, so you're talking like a 4.4x value for them. Like nobody looks that great in the Lakers here, but in a competitive game, Luka hitting at his price tag, LeBron hitting at his, Ayton hitting at his, like it doesn't feel like it should be 5% owned on a 4-game slate. In our last game on the slate, we got the Kings and the Clippers. We got no Zach LaVine, still no Domantas Sabonis for Sacramento. Still, though, nobody looks that good here. Going against a Clippers team that is still a pretty bad defense. Good up 118.3 points per 100. Is the pace down for Sacramento, though? Westbrook revenge, 5.5% owned. Sure. DeMar DeRozan back in LA, 2.2% owned. Sure. Projections really aren't there for these guys. They're not producing terribly well. With Sabonis and LaVine off the court, DeRozan averaging 1.1 fantasy points a minute, Westbrook averaging 1.2. Like, that's basically what I have. At least what I have DeRozan at, a little bit lower number. So maybe you could make the case to go to him more. But Westbrook, I've got him at 1.27 today. So, like, got him where he should be, and he still doesn't look that good. Maxime Reynaud playing minutes, but now he's priced where he should be. Definitely feels like a pivot to all the ownership going to Nurkic's way, but he's not as good of a fantasy producer. So, yeah, that's what it is. You're talking about Ivy doing 28 minutes last game. I mean, I don't think that would still be in the projection, though. It'd be like the most they would give him is 25. But the fact they gave him 21, if they get him to 25, he'll be a player I'll consider more. But like, I don't think you want to assume that he'll get to 28 the next game because he's not in a guaranteed role right now. He's kind of playing more because of certain situations popping up. But yeah, Sacramento to me, nothing here looks that appealing. Nick Clifford at 3,900, another one of those cheap guys that maybe you could play. He's been producing terribly. Definitely need to shoot better, but I just don't see him really being an NBA guy who we want to play in fantasy right now. Clippers on their side, all the guys we want are here. Kawhi, James Harden. Think you're going to get these guys into a good amount of lineups today, and they'll give you some swappability. Brook Lopez looks playable. John Collins to me does not. He's not played super well with the various Clippers unavailable. He's unfortunately just not doing the stuff he did in Utah last year, maybe because there's so much usage going to the stars. Spacing is also probably a little bit different too. That doesn't help him out. Chris Dunn, not really getting much. Nick Batum, not getting much. Seems like it's mostly Kawhi and James Harden here. Half your lineups being there. I am, of course, as you can see on screen here, much higher on Kawhi, getting 67% exposure compared to 11% for James Harden. I think what basically my lineup, Scott, is like Kawhi, a little more balance across the board because I am light on Jaylen Brown as well. But certainly a portion of the field will be playing Kawhi and Harden together, and I don't think that's an issue. The Sacramento sucks to pace up to, and Kawhi, the role's been looking really good. taking Zubac off the court in particular. But Bogdan Bogdanovic being out really matters a lot for these guys too. That's a big part of why they project so highly. All right, that's the game-by-game view, guys. We're going to go to Stokastic next, run a sim. I think we're making pretty decent time here, so that's pretty cool. Collins a Q tag also. There you go. I mean, look, he's not playable if he's in. If he's out, I guess he would open some more minutes for... if Derek Jones can play more, that'd be the obvious one. Sanders or Miller probably gain the most. Batum, maybe. Batum probably can't play that much more. Yeah, I really don't think Collins being out that much matters, but probably just give a few minutes away to somebody that might become more playable. This is the data hub. Sorry, that's the wrong screen. Let's go build some lineups on Stokastic. You guys saw what my data looks like superimposed on Stokastic's data. Looks like they just updated too, so you'll get freshly updated, hot off the presses numbers from Stokastic here. Again, guys, show some love if you can. Hit that like button and subscribe. While some of the peers and the NFL fantasy space, but Sam Sherman, who I think does a great job, and I've talked kindly about for years. Very excited to see him be the guy winning BBM, even though it does sting a little bit to see another content creator winning BBM. That said, I don't have that going for me right now. I have a top 25 finish in the Chihuahua, which makes me no money, and a top 80 finish in the Puppy 2, which makes me precious little money relatively. So I need this, guys. I need you guys to hit that like button. I need you to subscribe because NFL Best Ball, the slot machine payouts did not work in my favor as much as they could have this year. Check out Stokastic too, 15% off, link down below. Click over there and then use that promo code SPLASH when they ask you for a promo code when you're giving your info. Gives you 15% off any monthly package, weekly package. Also, any sport, all that goes for you as well with the promo code SPLASH. And last but not least, again, I didn't make enough money in best ball, so now you guys really need to join the channel. I know you're waiting. You're like, well, Spags can make enough in best ball. I don't have to worry about it. But no, in fact, now we all have to worry about it. Join the channel for $5. If you want my data updated throughout the night, the screens you see here on stream, join the Squirt Squad tiers down below as well. Only recommend joining the VIP tier if you know how to use data, get into a CSV, get it where it needs to go. But the Squirt Squad tier, anybody can use, using my data updated throughout the night. All right. I think Cardwell's out today. Because I believe I pulled him from my sheet because of him being out. Your top ROI lineups. If I'm wrong about that, feel free to correct me, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. Isaiah Collier, Anthony Simons, Jalen Wells, LeBron James makes this one interesting to see him in Stokastic data because the projection was not that high, at least in that last run of data they had. Yusuf Nurkic here, Keontae George, Jared Vanderbilt makes it as a value, and James Harden. So you're paying up for Keontae, LeBron, and Harden. You're taking a lot of value to get there. That's not the lineup I would have thought. Okay, number 2, Isaiah Collier, Jaden Ivey. There we go for our Ivy fans in the chat. Ron Holland as well. 2 Pistons values make it in. Lowry Markkanen, Yusuf Nurkic, Cade Cunningham, Jake LaRavia, and James Harden. Stokastic data favoring James Harden so far. I'm definitely favoring Kawhi in mine, but so far they're giving you all Harden. Number 3 is Keontae George, Anthony Simons, Jaylen Brown, Jared Vanderbilt, Yusuf Nurkic, James Harden, Bryce Sensabaugh, Brook Lopez. The Vanderbilt coming in, I'm not really with. Everything else in this lineup, I guess maybe besides Simons, I'm with. Number 4, Isaiah Collier again, Anthony Simons again, Jaylen Brown again, Lowry Markkanen, Neemias Queta, James Harden, Jordan Walsh, Yusuf Nurkic. And number 5 is the Tyrese Maxey lineup with Embiid still in the data, so keep that in mind. Jaden Ivey, Jaylen Brown, Ron Holland, Yusuf Nurkic, Isaiah Collier, Bryce Sensabaugh, LeBron James. So they are really not getting Kawhi here. I'm wondering what that exposure is going to look like. Highest ROI players, Jared Vanderbilt. So he's in a lot of those top ROI lineups there. Loving him at 3,900 in power forward. I don't see it in the fantasy points per minute, but if the minutes are there, sure, I guess. Yusuf Nurkic, 1.1% ROI for him. 6K salary. He looked good in my data, so I'm cool with that. Isaiah Collier, get a top value at 4,300. He's your number 3 ROI guy. It is a negative number here, but we care about the rank order of things. Tyrese Maxey, number 4. Keontae George, same, tied at 4. And tied at 5 are Anthony Simons and Javonte Green on Detroit at 3,200. So just a value guy that allows you to cram the studs, I would guess. But, man, Simons, it's a high total, which it does help Simons out as much as the highly owned Celtics. But Simons does mostly suck and has mostly sucked this year. So keep that in mind. Isaiah Collier, 73% exposure in Stokastic's top 150, fields at 41, as they are taking the Collier value up top, it seems the most. Number 2, Yusuf Nurkic. Wow, okay. 66% exposure for Nurkic, fields at 25, so 41% leverage on Yusuf Nurkic, who I think looks like a good play. But Stokastic really going to push you there today, it looks like. Bryce Sensabaugh, the other Utah value, coming up a good amount as well, 65% exposure. Fields 61. James Harden, 54% exposure. Fields at 47. I'm a little bit low on Harden. Stokastic is up on him. And Kawhi, they are a little bit low on here. 39% exposure. Fields at 49. So a little more Harden, a little bit less Kawhi, but you're getting your Clippers exposure somehow. Your highest leverage plays. Nurkic, number 1. Not a surprise to see that. 41% more in the field is what we just saw. Isaiah Collier, number 2. 32% more in the field. Not a surprise with what we just saw. Jared Vanderbilt, one of your highest ROI players according to Stokastic, only to be 10% played. They've got him at 33. I guess a chance that he starts, which would make me feel better about it. But 22% leverage above the field on Jared Vanderbilt, who is a value. Doesn't look like a great value right now, but Stokastic is in on it. Anthony Simons, 14% leverage on the field. You're getting him at 37%. Fields 22. He's cheap at 4,100. Got that high total, but again, not really doing a lot for the Celtics this year. Keontae George, 11% leverage, 18% exposure. Fields at 7. So looks like the ownership came down for him a little bit, but they're at least supporting me that he is an above the field play. Negative leverage, guys. Peyton Pritchard. Wow, big fade on Peyton Pritchard. Negative 32% leverage. They're basically going Simons over Pritchard. I don't get it. But that's what they're doing. Big fade on Derek White, too. Negative 22% on him. Jaylen Brown down here at negative 7 as well. So they're fading the Celtics big 3. I don't know, man. I would not feel great if I were leaving with 1/3, almost 1/4 of Peyton Pritchard, 1/2, more than that really, of Derek White. Low on Jaylen Brown, like your highest total team with a bunch of guys that have consolidated usage. Stokastic is doing it for a reason, I'm sure. I would disagree on that. Neemias Queta, negative 12% leverage. Also be on the deeper dive later today, so we'll see if that changes. 6 p.m. today for the deeper dive because slate tips off at 8 p.m. Keep that in mind. Kawhi Leonard, negative 11% leverage. Asar Thompson, negative 9. You are barely playing him in Stokastic data with only 0.7% exposure. I'll do a single lineup sim here. I don't know how it's going to go because I think Stokastic and I disagree on a few different parts. Let's see here. I'm sorting on my sheet. We'll see what we build out here. Again, guys, please do hit that like button. Please subscribe. You know the deal here. It goes a long way for me here. Just one guy showing you my gambling as best I can across the NBA every Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. NFL as well on the @SplashPlay pod channel. So please do that. Check out Stokastic. You want to see the sims updated throughout the day? You can do that with the promo code SPLASH, link down below. And then you could use that promo code SPLASH to get 15% off. Enter it when you sign up over there and you will get it for yourself. And of course, join the channel here. $5 to join as a supporter here and get into the live chat during the live shows. Or, after the fact, you could still be for free. Leave a comment. I still reply to everything. The higher dollar tiers, Squirt Squad tier, will get you all of my data updates throughout the night. The easy to kind of view matchup screen of things. And if you want my updated VIP projections, you get those too by joining the correlated VIP tier. All right. We got chats here. Ran Stokastic with your data. Looks a lot different. Yeah, well, there we go. Sims are good for efficiency and getting some things you may not normally get, but you have to go with some of your own instincts. Yeah, that's also a fair way to look at it. A lot of people that have won the most money on Stokastic are tweaking projections, definitely not just playing lineups out of the box, if nothing else. Even Tom, the CEO, like for the showdown win he had this year, where he won over 100K, he was still like, taking uniques and like a different way for people that care. Like he took his first 100 lineups with 3 uniques, and the next 50 with 2. And he also like knocked the projections for the defenses down a little bit. So, even the people that work for the company that are, high level DFS pros are also tweaking things. So, you don't want to tweak things too crazy generally where you're like fundamentally changing the projections, but more of certain things, less of certain things, never a bad thing to do. All right, let's go to point guard first here. For me, it'd be Peyton Pritchard. And the Sim's not going to love it, it seems, but Peyton Pritchard to me projects really well. Stokastic might have changed the minutes around a little bit because I am using the data from their morning update because they updated while I was live here on the show. But, unless Peyton Pritchard fell off, the globe, I think Peyton Pritchard's still a play for me. I'm also going to put Collier in. We know the Sim likes him, and he does look like a top value for me, so I'm just going to take my value now. Swallow our medicine at point guard and guard with Peyton Pritchard and Collier. Shooting guard for me right now would be Derek White or Sensabaugh. I'm going to go Derek White here because we're not going to be able to play him at forward. Again, Derek White, a little bit too cheap to me facing Utah. I am a big believer in our high usage Boston guys, even though the sim is not supporting it quite as much. Small forward for me would be Kawhi or Sensabaugh. I'm going to go Sensabaugh first, so I know what we have salary-wise to deal with. We'll take our two little Utah value medicine pieces. Both going to be highly owned, but I really don't feel good about any other value plays right now. Power forward for me, Markkanen. Power forward is awful today. I guess I could see why George was asking about Isaiah Stewart before. Paul George, also good. But I think Markkanen would be my guy here at power forward. Yeah. Okay. Gonna go Nurkic at center. Jalen Duren, definitely relative to my projections, another guy that I'm up on by a little bit. We know the sim likes Nurkic, and I do think in a balanced build here, like we're kind of building, I think this works. I am going to put Duren in at utility. We'll see like what that gives us left. 6,100 for a forward. Can't afford Kawhi. Filipowski. Now this tier stinks. This tier stinks. I'm going to take out Markkanen. I'm going to go Kawhi here. Power forward's now 4,500. Jared Vanderbilt, we know the sim likes. I don't like him as much, but we can get there. Team we're simming out here: Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Bryce Sensabaugh, Jared Vanderbilt, Yusuf Nurkic. There we go. 21% ROI. We'll take it. Isaiah Collier, Kawhi Leonard, Jalen Duren. You left 600 on the table here, and Vanderbilt is technically at a 12% owned play. Jalen Duren 6. This might be unique enough. I don't think Stokastic loves the players I picked, but it's green. It wins 0.2% of the time. It's good enough for me. I'm going to give you guys my splash plays for the day. Now that you guys have a pretty good read of what the industry's must plays are. Before I do that, last ask, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. Again, I'm just one guy. It might seem like there are a team of at the very least monkeys at typewriters here, but no, it's just me doing the work as best I can. Even when I'm full of ZD, I show up here and do the work for you guys Monday to Friday at 2 p.m. So please show some love right back. Hit the like button, subscribe. It's the holidays. I could phone it in. I could not do the show, but you know what? I'm gambling on the slate like you guys are, so we did it. And of course, today we'll be on Stokastic at 6 p.m., so check that out too. Stokastic, 15% off, link down below. All their tools, all their data, all the cheap stuff, all the expensive stuff, link down below for it. And use that promo code SPLASH when you get over there for 15% off. And last but not least, join the Discord here, $5 to join. If you want to get my data updated throughout the night as well, check out the Squirt Squad tiers. I do recommend no matter what you're signing up for, try to join on desktop if you can, because iOS will charge you extra VIG that you don't need. All right, splash plays for today. It's whoever I just put in that lineup, but like your value guys, Collier and Sensabaugh right now. And I'm willing to get to Jared Vanderbilt, I guess. I don't think he's a splash play technically, but like he might become more of a necessary play based on what I was seeing from building lineups there. I do like the high usage Celtic guys: Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, if you can get there. Nurkic and Duren are definitely my two preferred center options. Kawhi, I prefer to James Harden. And that's enough. That's most of the key players on the slate, I think. So hopefully that adds some value to you guys. The housekeeping on monkeys with typewriters is enormous. That's true. Guys, make sure to gamble responsibly, even though it is always money time here on this channel. Follow me at Chris Spags. Follow this channel at Splash Play Bets on YouTube. On Twitter at Splash Play Pod. You can see both my NFL and my YouTube content, or my NBA content coming through on there as well. And I'll see you guys again soon. So plan is to be back tomorrow, I think, as long as Luke is in school, which I'm pretty sure he's going to be. Should be cool to do a video tomorrow. Probably going to take Thursday off, but be back on Friday is going to be the goal. But I will be on Stokastic at 6 p.m. today, no matter what. So final shows of the year, but not my last show. So tune in for some of that stuff. I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy your days. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your holidays. Enjoy your holidays. And have a happy new year if I don't see you before then. But otherwise, good luck, guys. See you soon.